Uh, Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. So today we are going to discuss uh, a design problem about foot overbridge. Okay, so how a foot overbridge is analyzed and designed. So let us take this question. Design a foot overbridge for the following particulars. The type of the girder is N-type truss. Okay. Span of the girders is 18 meters center to center. The span of the entire truss girder is 18 meters. Spacing of cross girders. That is, the girders perpendicular to the length of the that girders, the spacing is 2.25 meter. Clear working width between the main girders, that is the center to center distance between the two truss girders will be is given as 3 meter. Live load is 4 kN per the floating per planks on the cross girder. And now what you have to do is to design the timber planks, the cross girders and the top and bottom cord members. So now, so first what we will do is here this is an N-type truss girder. Okay, now the span of the girder is 18 meter and you are having uh, cross girders at a spacing of 2.25 meters center to center. If you divide 18 by 2.25 you will have 8. That means you will have 8 panels. This N-type truss girder is provided with 8 number of panels, each having a height of 1.8 meter. Okay, the height here is height of the truss is 1.8 meter and the cross girders are placed at those panel points of this at a spacing of 2.25 meter. First thing is to design the timber planks. Okay. So now what is the span? Span is 2.25 meter, which is the spacing of the cross girder. Live load, it's as per given in the question, 4 kN per meter square, 4000 Newton per meter square. Now first thing that we do here, we assume the thickness, since anything we do not know about the planks. So first things is we assume what is the thickness. Let us assume it is a 65 mm thick plank. You can assume any value. You can assume 100 mm. You can assume 50 mm. So they have assumed 65 mm the thickness, and this is the density. Okay, at 8000 Newton per meter. This is the density of timber plank. Now what will be the self weight of the plank? Okay, self weight of the plank will be thickness in terms of Newton per meter square. This will be the dead load of, we are calculating what is the dead load due to self weight of the timber plank. Okay, while designing any structure, what we consider is what is the live load and what is the dead load. That is the dead load of its, the weight of its own, the structure, it has its own weight, and including what the live load is, whatever live load is coming. So these two combined load will give you the total load, that is for which the structure has to be designed. So here we know what is the live load, we do not know what is the dead load of the timber plank. So for that we assume what we have to find what is the weight. So its density is 8000 Newton per meter cube. So this multiply this by the thickness, so I'll give this value as 520 Newton per meter square. So this is the dead load in per plan area. Okay, so total load will be live load plus dead load. So 4000 plus 520 is 4520 Newton per meter square. This is the total load that is coming on the plank. So let us consider for 1 meter width of the plank. So maximum bending moment will be WL square by 8 for UDL. So W is this value 4520. L is what is the spacing between the cross girders, 2.25 by 8. So this gives us a value of 2860.3 Newton meter. Okay. Now moment of resistance is sigma into Z. What is Z? Z is 1 by 6 PT square. PT square or PT square we know. Plastic the section modulus into the uh, bending stress will give you the bending moment or moment of resistance. So now equating the moment of resistance to the maximum bending moment. Maximum moment we have calculated on the formula. So this gives you 1 by 6 sigma BCT into 1. We are taking one unit width. B is 1 meter, so it is 1000 into 65. And equating this to the bending moment, which gives sigma BCT. Bending stress in compression or tension. This is given as calculated to be 4.06 Newton per meter square, and this comes out to be less than 10, should be less. The bending stress in compression for timber is sigma BCT for 10 timber is 10 Newton per meter square, so it is less Then the permissible load, so it is all right. It is safe in bending. Now find what is the maximum shear force. So shear force is given by WL by 2. No. So W is 4520, L is 2.25. So from this formula we get maximum shear force as 5085 Newton. Average stresses. Find what is the average stresses. Tau here. Average stress is load by area. Total load is, total load means shear. Total shear by area. Shear area of the plank. Area of cross section of the plank. So 5085 by 1000 into 65. This gives us 0.0782 Newton per millimeter. Okay. Maximum shear stress tau here. This is given as 1.5 into 0.0782. So this nothing but stress. Maximum shear stress is 1.5 times the average shear stress for timbers planks. So this gives us maximum shear stress as 0.1173, and it is less than 0.8. 0.8 is the permissible value of maximum shear stress, 0.8 Newton per millimeter square. What we find is this plank is safe in bending and safe in shear, so it is okay. Now find what is the, we have to check whether it is safe in deflection. These three checks we have to perform. So moment of inertia of the plank is 1000 into 65 cube by 12. So this is equal to 2288.5 into 10 to the power 4 millimeter per cube. So BD cube by 12, from this we have found this, the moment of inertia. So moment of inertia is this value. So now find what is the maximum deflection for a UDL simply supported. Your maximum deflection at the center is given by 5 by 384 WL to the power 4 by EI, where E is the modulus of rigidity, I is the moment of inertia. So for timber, modulus of rigidity is 1. Or Young's modulus is 1 into 10 to the power 4. L you know 2.25. Load you know the what is the value of 5. From this formula you get maximum deflection as 6.59 millimeter. The permissible deflection for timber planks is, in bridges it is span by 325. So span is 2250 by 325, it is 6.92. So 6.92, now this value 6.59 is less than 6.92, it is within permissible limits, hence it is safe in deflection. Okay. Now to design the cross beams. Now the cross beams are placed at a center to center distance of 2.25 meter. Okay. Now what is the clear weight between the main girders? It is 3 meter. Now what happens is, as a factor of safety or for other practical purposes, we extend the width or the length of the cross girder by a little, say 0.3 meter. Okay. So it is extended by little distance of 0.3 meter. So this will be equal to the center to center distance between lattice girder of cross girders. So length of the cross girder will be 3 plus 0.3 meter, that is 3.3 meter. Now what is the load transmitted to the cross girder from the floor? Okay. Now the floor that is resting on the cross girder is resting on a length of 3 meter only. The floor is not resting on 3.3 meter. Okay. That we have taken as an extra length or projection. But whatever the load is coming, that is coming on 3 meter span of cross girder only. So what is the load that is coming? 3 into 2.25 into this 4520. 4520 was the total load that is coming. Total load means live load plus dead load of the timber planks. Total load was, so this total load was in Newton per meter square. So in area it is 3 into 2.25. This is the area. So what is this? This is the total load that is coming on the cross beam. Okay. Now again, this is the total load that is coming on the cross beam, and now you have to assume what is the dead load of its own self weight of the cross beam. So let us assume that we take as 150 Newton per meter. Okay. So for 3.3 meter span, you are taking 3.3 meter length of the cross beams. So for what is the weight of 3.3 meter? So this will give us your 150 into 3.3. Okay, so this is the self weight of this cross beam, and this is the total load that is coming from these timber planks to the beam. So then now what is the total load W that is coming on the entire cross beam, including its self weight and the load coming from timber planks? So this will be 30510 plus 3.3 into 1.5. This is 31005. This is the total load for which the cross beam has to be designed. Okay. Now what is the maximum bending moment? Maximum bending moment is given by WL by 8. Okay. it is, remember this thing, this is not small w, this is capital W. This is the total load, this is not a distributed load. So that is why this formula is not W L square by 8, instead it is capital W L by 8. So L, you know, this is 3.3 for the length of the cross beams, and this value you put, this bending moment you get, this is the required bending moment. Now, what will be section modulus that is required for beam design? We know how do you select the sections from steel tables. First, what we need to do is the selection of criteria is the section modulus. So find what is the section modulus. This is m by z, or m by sigma. Z is m by sigma. So what is sigma? Bending stress in compression for steel is permissible stress is 1.165 Newton per millimeter square. This is the permissible bending stress in compression for steel Fe410. So m by sigma, you get this z value as 77512.5 millimeter cube. This is the required section modulus that has to be provided. So now let us try ISLC 150. Okay, at the rate of 141.2 Newton per meter. So from IS handbooks, the relevant properties of this section, from this channel sections, we get the properties as shear force as, what is the shear force? W by 2, total load is 31005, so this by 2 will give you 15002.5 Newton. Okay, now if you note all these properties, what is the Z? This Z should be greater than the Z required. What is the thickness? What is the moment of inertia? Everything we know. Now find, once you know shear force, find what is the shear stress. Shear stress will be, tau VA will be F by area. Shear force by area. What is the area? Area of the channel section is 150 into 4.8, and 4.8 is the thickness. Okay, thickness of the section. So this gives you as 21.53 Newton per millimeter. This is the average shear stress. And what is the permissible shear stress? 100. So it is less than this. It is safe in shear. Okay. Now you have to check whether it is safe in deflection or not. This is span is, this permissible deflection is span by 325. So this is 3.3 by 10 to 10 to the power 3 by 325. So this comes out to be 10.15 mm. Now what is the maximum deflection? Same, by using that formula you put all these values and then you get deflection as 10.4. so this is slightly, as you can see, this calculated value is slightly higher than the permissible value. So what we do is we can provide camber. Okay, so this much value, since there is a very less difference of 0.025 or 0.25 millimeter, rather 0.25 millimeter is a very less value, it can be neglected. Okay, or if you don't want to neglect, you provide a camber of slope, so it will control the reflection. So this was all about the design of the timber planks and the cross beams. So in the next lecture we will discuss how to design the other members of the truss. Okay, how to find the idly, how to find the forces, and how to design other members.